Dad didn't understand why his daughter's grave keeps growing. He burst into tears when he knew truth behind it. The cemetery was always too quiet for Marcus. He hated the silence, hated how the world seemed to move on while he stood frozen in place. Every step across the gravel path felt heavier than the last. His polished black shoes crunching softly, as if to remind him he still carried weight when she no longer could. He wore his black suit again. He always did. He couldn't bring himself to visit his daughter's grave in anything less. To Marcus, dressing properly was the last thing he could still give her. When he reached her resting place, his chest tightened. The granite headstone bore her name in crisp letters, and though the words were familiar, they cut into him every time. "My baby girl," he whispered, running a trembling hand across the top of the stone. But something else caught his eye. He froze. The earth above her grave wasn't flat like the others. Instead, it swelled upward, an unnatural mound, round and smooth, like the ground itself was refusing to settle. He crouched, touching the grass. It was soft, fresher than the rest, almost too green. Marcus frowned, forcing a shaky laugh that didn't sound like his own. The ground's crew messed up the soil, that's all. He muttered aloud, though no one was there to hear him. Saying it out loud was the only way to quiet the panic clawing at his chest. But when he returned 2 days later, flowers in hand, the mound was bigger. He stopped in his tracks, gripping the bouquet so tightly the stems bent. His lips trembled. No, this isn't right. He looked around the cemetery as if someone else would notice, but passers-by walked on, blind to it. Marcus knelt, pressing his hand against the grass. The soil underneath felt loose, damp, as if freshly disturbed. "Why?" he whispered, his voice breaking. "Why can't you just rest, sweetheart?" On his third visit, he finally asked the groundskeeper, a young man pushing a mower nearby. "Hey," Marcus called, his voice sharp with nerves. "Come here. Look at this." The worker followed him to the grave. "What seems to be the problem, sir?" Marcus pointed at the mound. His hand shook. "This grave, it's growing. Look at it. Tell me I'm not losing my mind." The man bent down, brushing his fingers over the grass. "Sometimes the soil shifts," he said carefully. "Could be rain or roots underneath. Graves can settle unevenly." "No," Marcus snapped, startling the worker. His voice cracked thick with grief. "I come here every day. Every single day. I know what this ground looked like yesterday and the day before. It wasn't like this." His eyes brimmed with tears. "This isn't settling. It's rising." The worker hesitated, his expression softening. "Sir, grief plays tricks. Maybe it looks different to you because of Marcus's fists balled lead at his sides. Don't you dare tell me it's my grief. I buried my daughter here with my own hands on that casket. I know what I see." His voice broke. "Don't take this from me. Just tell me the truth. Does this look normal to you?" The groundskeeper swallowed hard, glancing at the mound again. His silence was answer enough. That night, Marcus sat in his dark living room, his tie undone, his face buried in his hands. His words cracked the silence. "Why, baby? Why does your grave keep changing? Why can't I give you peace?" His sobs shook the empty house, echoing through rooms that used to carry her laughter. By the end of the week, Marcus could no longer bear it. Each visit showed the grave swelling higher, greener, as though something beneath the earth was pressing up to meet him. The other graves lay still, serene, but hers looked restless, alive. On his 7th visit, he stood by the mound, lips trembling. "If someone's done something to you," he whispered to the headstone, "if anyone dared disturb you, I swear I'll find out. I'll make it right." His desperation pushed him to the cemetery office. He stood at the counter, gripping the edge. "I want her grave opened," he said, his voice firm, though his body trembled. The manager stared at him in shock. "Sir, that's a serious request. You can't. I'm her father." Marcus slammed his hand on the desk. "I've watched it grow day after day. If you think I'm imagining it, come see it yourself. But I won't stand here and be told to ignore what's right in front of me. Something is wrong." The manager finally agreed, arranging for a small crew to meet Marcus by the grave the following week. When the day came, Marcus stood in his suit, hands clasped so tightly behind his back that his knuckles turned white. The mound looked taller than ever, mocking him with its silence. The workers arrived with shovels, glancing uneasily at one another. The groundskeeper, who had seen it before, avoided Marcus' eyes. Marcus' voice was hoarse but steady. "Dig. I need to know. I need the truth." One worker stepped forward, spade sinking into the soil. Damp earth spilled to the side, releasing a smell of fresh living roots. Marcus's heart pounded in his chest. He pressed his hand against his lips, staring as the workers leaned in closer, peeling away layers of soil. Whatever truth lay beneath that swelling grave was about to be revealed. The shovel sank deeper with each thrust, dull thuds echoing across the cemetery. Marcus stood stiffly beside the mound, his hand covering his mouth as he watched soil spill out in clumps. The grass peeled back under the workers' tools, revealing dark, damp earth beneath. The mound had always seemed alive to him, and now, as the ground gave way, the truth felt close enough to choke him. One worker muttered nervously. "Feels loose, like it's been shifting from the inside." "Keep going," Marcus urged, his voice breaking. "I need to know what's causing this." The men hesitated, exchanging uneasy glances, but Marcus's stare pushed them forward. They dug carefully, respecting the sanctity of the grave. A few inches down, the first worker froze, his shovel striking something firm yet fibrous. "Sir," the man whispered, crouching low. He brushed away clumps of soil with his gloved hand. Brown tangled strands emerged, thick and knotted, running sideways through the earth. Marcus' stomach clenched. "What is that?" Another worker leaned closer. "Roots," he murmured. "But not from the cemetery trees. These are fresh." The team kept digging, uncovering more. The grave was laced with roots that seemed to twist upward, pushing through the soil, weaving beneath the grass. They weren't wild or accidental. They had been planted there. Marcus dropped to his knees, his breath ragged. He clawed at the dirt with his bare hands, pulling free a small shard of wood. His eyes widened. It was part of a young sapling, broken but unmistakable. Suddenly, it all made sense. His daughter had always loved trees. He remembered the small potted sapling she kept in her room, a fragile little thing she insisted on watering every morning. She used to say, "Trees live forever, Daddy. Even if I don't, something I plant will." Tears spilled down Marcus's cheeks. His shoulders shook as the memory hit him like a wave. He had forgotten the tiny pot in the corner of a room after her death. Someone, perhaps the funeral staff, perhaps a family member, must have placed it with her when she was buried. And now, weeks later, the sapling's roots were stretching, searching for space, pushing upward through the soil. The grave hadn't been restless. It hadn't been disturbed. It was growing because she had left life behind in the form of that sapling. Marcus bowed his head, sobs tearing through him. "Oh, baby girl, even now you're trying to grow." His voice cracked, each word trembling. "I thought you couldn't rest. I thought I was losing you all over again. But this is you. You're still here." The workers stood silently, hats in hand, unsure whether to keep digging. But Marcus lifted his palm. "Stop," he whispered. "Don't take it out. Let it be. She wanted this." They nodded quietly, stepping back. Marcus stayed on his knees, running his fingers over the roots he had uncovered. They were strong, vibrant, full of life. In that moment, he understood his daughter hadn't left him completely. She had left a living legacy that would keep pushing upward no matter how heavy the earth. Over the next days, Marcus visited, not with dread, but with a strange, tender reverence. The mound still rose slowly but surely as the sapling's roots spread. The cemetery caretakers promised to let it grow, to allow the tree to take root in that sacred place. Marcus began bringing water every morning. He would kneel beside the grave, speaking softly as though his daughter could hear. "I'll take care of it, sweetheart. I'll help you grow. You'll stand tall, and everyone will know you're still here." Months later, a slender green shoot broke through the grass, reaching toward the sky. Marcus wept when he saw it, cradling the fragile stem between his fingers. It was her way of keeping her promise that even if she was gone, something of her would remain. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments where in the world are you watching from. We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.